Why, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Truly Odd podcast, where we bring you the latest in game news and movie news. I am your host, Joe Garcia. So grab your controllers, get your popcorn, and let's go ahead and dive right on in, shall we? Starting with our first game news topic of the day, it looks like Marvel Rivals has announced they're having a new penalty system for toxic behavior in game. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article from Game Rant. According to this article, on August 8th, when they do their 3.5 update, when Blade is being released, they're going to be introducing a new penalty system for players that disconnect early from game. Now, initially, what the penalty was you would leave the game early and they would penalize you with the 5 minute wait time. But I guess they're going to add some additional, additional things to the penalty where they're going to be taking away points and adding different tiers of penalty systems. Now, if you want the full breakdown, I highly recommend you guys check out this article. They kind of break it down here, where the best example they have is right here during this article. If you leave the game within the first 70 to 90 seconds and you disconnect, sorry, if you leave the game within 70 seconds and the match ends, wait, how that went? Tier 1, after 70 seconds and the match ends is 90 seconds disconnect, the person will not be penalized. That's right. If the game ends between 90 and 150 seconds after disconnection, the the offending player will receive a tier 1 point penalty and competitive matchmaking ban. Uh, so if you want to know what these penalties are, it's breaking down here in this article if you're interested in this ban. But I do think there must be a very big issue with Marvel Rivals, is seeing that they're having banning issues. And if you see here are the point systems: bronze, silver, gold, and so on and so forth. I think this is good. It'll probably more incentivize player to stick around and play throughout the matches, because there are a lot of issues with players leaving matches as far as I'm concerned. Even with quick play, which is weird. I don't know why people take quick play so serious. Quick play is a good way to learn a new character, get the hang of them, and then go into competitive and actually start doing good with them. So I don't know why people take quick play so seriously. But yeah, interesting new ban system. We're gonna have to check it out. Hopefully, this is more incentivizing players to stay and actually participate in the games. Let me know what you guys think about this ban system, and if you want for more of a detailed breakdown, let me know. I'll break it down. But I didn't really want to waste your guys' time too much with the whole penalty system. Moving on to our next game news topic of the day, it looks like we get a new game studio called RedOctane, which is a game studio for a new rhythm. It's a new rhythm game studio founded by Guitar Hero veterans, which is awesome. So it looks like they already have a nice little trailer here. While of course I cannot play you guys the full audio because YouTube's a bit of a bitch. Hold on one second. Probably gonna be loud, so watch your ears. There we go. So it looks like they have been in development of a newer guitar here, which let me see if we can get an image of it somewhere. Article. You see that guy with it? Hold on, I think they have a picture of it towards the end here, right here. Here are some of the equipment that they got. So they made new guitar, but no game, and I think they're currently teasing that they're in the middle of developing a game for this new guitar, for a kind of Guitar Hero, not sequel, but a Guitar Hero spin-off, I guess you could say. These are the guys from the original Guitar Hero. So I think this is really awesome. It'd be nice to see a newer generation version of Guitar Hero, Garage Band, or whatever musical things you guys are into. I've known some friends in my life that have picked up Guitar Hero and they actually ended up playing bass and actually ended up playing guitar because they enjoyed it so much. So let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for RedOctane to bring us a new Guitar Hero esque or rhythm style guitar esque game? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Moving on to our next game news topic of the day, it looks like Genshin Impact is going to be delisted on the PlayStation 4. And this comes to us from Game Informer. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article here. So it looks like the detail is basically, PS4 is an older console and they're going to be stopping the support. So on February 25th, 2026 is going to be the last day you're going to be able to download Genshin Impact on the PlayStation 4. And then after that, on April 8th, 2026 will be the last day that Mi Hao Yo, I believe that's the company's name, is the last day that they're going to be supporting Genshin Impact on the PS4. So definitely, I think they're going to still be supporting the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox Series, whatever the hell Xbox's names are. But yeah, so if you're a PS4 user, get ready to have to upgrade if you're slowly playing Genshin Impact. But it looks like we're finally moving away from the PS4 generation of console users and moving on to this middle. There's always been a middle of the road when the next generation where they stopped supporting the, for example, when the PS4 came out, at some point they stopped supporting the PS3 because the PS5 was going to be released a couple years later, and we're right here getting to that road. A lot of games are going to be dropping support for PS4, so get ready for that coming down the road, guys. Moving on to our next game news topic of the day, and probably our main topic of the day. Now, I want you guys to chuck this up to a rumor and take everything I say with a grain of salt, but I do think it's a very important topic because uh, as usual, fans of Xbox and fans of PlayStation like to, dick measure and see who's gonna do better. But right now, it is rumored that the next Xbox is gonna be more powerful than the PlayStation 6. Now, there's a further breakdown here in this article that kind of gives you all the details and stuff like that, but I have it kind of broken out already. If you guys are interested in reading it for yourself and understanding, so go ahead and do that. But recently we discussed that there was a leak for the PS6 specs, and because of that, now there are rumors of what the Xbox is going to be able to do compared to the PlayStation 6. So just so you guys know some of the details, it looks like the GPU power for the PS6, forgive me, is going to be around the AMD RX 9070 XT, and then the next Xbox is going to be the Nvidia RTX 5080 or equivalent. So something around those words if you're interested in GPU power. Raw power is going to be about the PS6 is going to be about 20% less powerful than the Xbox according to this article, and of course the Xbox is going to be 20% more powerful. And there's other things like involving ray tracing, graphical fidelity, and things of that sort, like enhancing for the PlayStation 6, advancing GPU features and stuff like that that the Xbox is not going to have, and the Xbox is going to have more high performance things. And another thing that this article mentions, which I was going to bring up anyways, so excuse me, that I'm happy it brought up anyways, that the next Xbox is not necessarily going to be a console. It's kind of going to be more of a high end PC, mid high end PC, because they're going to be having, supposedly, the rumors they're going to be having Windows involved so you can download Steam and play Steam games through the new Xbox. So think of it more of a new PC, kind of, as opposed to a console, whereas the PS6 is going to be generally strictly what they've been doing console based, more traditional route. So now the big issue here, and my big issue, at least with Xbox, is, and most of the Xbox people, for example, the PS5 release was not as powerful as the recent Xbox release. However, PlayStation was able to utilize more of the full power of the PS5 with their SSDs in certain games as opposed to Xbox. No game, in my opinion, has really harnessed the full power of what the Xbox could do because they're always developing games for the lowest common denominator, which is their previous Xbox systems, which kind of slows the progression of where they can take the full development cycle of their more newer games that they're releasing. And since Xbox is now not really focusing on exclusive game development, as we see with Gears of War coming to the PS5, as we've seen with Forza Horizon, and as we've rumored hearing of other games and other things coming from Xbox to the PS5 and now possibly to the PS6 when that is released, I very much doubt that we're going to be getting a game that solely focuses on the power that could be utilized for the Xbox. Now, mind you, again, it's supposed to be a PC, so while yeah, higher end PCs can upgrade features and do certain things like that, they're also introducing a big factor that I don't think anyone's really talking about or anyone's really dealing about, is that's crashes. PC has a lot more crashes and a lot more issues when it comes to game development, and that's because PC is a little bit not necessarily harder to develop for, but not as intuitive to develop for, not as easily to develop for as consoles. Consoles, it's very rarer to get crashes on consoles than it is on a PC kind of game because PCs are doing other things and performing other tasks. So I'm very curious how Xbox is going to handle things like that with maybe focusing just on visual fidelity and game performance for their console. We'll have to see what they end up doing, but I don't think they're going to be in development of any exclusive game that'll strictly harness the power of the Xbox. So it could be 30 times, 50 times more powerful than a PS6, but that won't matter if they're not utilizing that power in the proper way for the game development that they have. So we'll see what they end up doing, but let me know what you guys think about this rumor. Are you assuming that the Xbox is going to be more powerful than the PS6? Does it even matter at this point? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Moving on to our final game news topic of the day. It looks like over 22,000 players are waiting in the queues for the Battlefield 6 open beta before it's even launched. This comes to us from IGN. So it looks like players are very excited for the next Battlefield game as they are currently waiting right here. You see 22,880 players are currently waiting in the queues. Now, I don't know if this is accurate for the date, but this is from when the article was dropped here. And I think that's crazy and wild that many players are just waiting in the queue. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the beta drops tomorrow at 1 p.m. Yes, right here. Oh, sorry, 1 a.m. ET tomorrow for the early access. So I'm assuming all those players are early access players, but it's just exciting to see so many people excited uh, for a game like this. Now I'm not sure if this queue is all around base for PS5, Xbox, and Steam. I think it's just Steam. I could be mistaken about that. Let me know if you guys know what it is. But yeah, the fact that this many players are already looking to play it is phenomenal. I'm sure the team is very excited, and I'm very excited for so many players to play the beta because when a game has a lot of players on the beta, it helps the studio really figure out what issues they can really focus on before the release of their game. And I think that this server test is going to be phenomenal for the open beta of Battlefield 6. I already got it downloaded on my PS5. I look forward to playing it this weekend. I made sure to clear my schedule and told everyone to fuck off because that's all I'm going to be doing this weekend is enjoying that game. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you excited to check out the Battlefield 6 beta? And are you part of this queue? Are you currently waiting? And let me know why out of curiosity. Yeah. And that does it for our game news topics, guys. Let's gonna go ahead and move on to our movie news topics. Now, normally I talk about this topic. I usually focus on one trailer at a time with topics, but today I wanted to focus on two trailers that were released today. And that is the trailer for Jordan Peele's Him and the trailer for The Cut starring Orlando Bloom. The reason I wanted to focus on both of them is I got very similar vibes. Both of these trailers really focus on an athlete, trying to be the best that they can be, and one is more of the athlete trying to get back into the game and really doing a crazy cut of weight loss to make weight when I think he has to lose like 26 pounds in like a week or something like that from the trailer, if I remember. And then the other one is brutal training to become the best quarterback that he can be, but also creepiness ensues. Jordan Peele, it's very horror-esque things. So let's go ahead and take a look at this article here. Now I can't play the trailers for you guys, but if you're interested in watching, I'll have them in the article down below. And you know what? I think Marlon Wayans looks like he's doing a phenomenal performance in this role. I'm actually probably more want to watch this movie for his performance than anything else from what I've seen from the trailer. It looks phenomenal. These posters look very interesting, especially this one right here with Marlon Wayans with all the rings and things like that. Very interesting poster. Never meet your heroes. So I'm very curious what's going to end up happening with this movie as far as like plot and stuff. It looks pretty interesting to me. But let me know what you guys think of the trailer Him, and are you interested in checking it out? As far as this trailer, The Cut with Orlando Bloom, this is more or less starring Orlando Bloom and John Turturro, where they're focusing on getting him to match the weight, and he's going through crazy training and crazy things that he's doing to his body to get to the point where he's able to make weight, and it just seems like a crazy amount of things that they're doing for the body. But it says a lot about the UFC fighters that kind of do cuts before weigh-ins and stuff like that. Kind of lets you know the kind of things that they have to go through and the craziness that ensues in between all that with overdoing, getting to the point where they're hallucinating and stuff like that. So let me know what you guys thought of these trailers and which movie are you more interested in seeing. Moving on to our next movie news topic of the day. It looks like Freaky Friday and Weapons are going to be battling it out over first place over Fantastic Four at the box office this weekend. And I'm curious, which one do you guys think will win the box office weekend? And the reason for this is because seeing that Fantastic Four didn't do so well this past weekend, it's looking on average to aim for the 18 to $20 million mark for this next coming weekend. And Freaky Friday is estimated to project to open to 27 to $30 million. And mind you, these are just projections; nothing's guaranteed. Whereas Weapons is estimated to come in at 25 to $30 million. So I'm just curious what you guys think is going to be happening this weekend as far as Freaky Friday, Weapons, or Fantastic Four winning out the weekend. I personally think Freaky Friday might win out the weekend, but I'd be very interesting to see what happens this weekend as far as which one outperforms which, because I think it's just cool seeing different genres where it comes to a Disney comedy, a horror movie, and a superhero movie kind of battling it out for first place at the box office. I find that very interesting. So, which movie are you hoping wins the weekend, and which movie do you think will win the weekend? I hope Fantastic Four wins because I really wanted to do perform very well, and I really enjoyed the movie. But I think Freaky Friday will win, and I hope to enjoy that movie when I see it. Moving on to our next movie news topic of the day. Uh, this comes to us from Deadline. It looks like Netflix is developing a comedy movie for William Shatner's TJ Hooker cop series. So if you have not heard this, Netflix has kind of purchased the rights for the TJ Hooker show, and they currently getting some writers involved in developing a script for the movie. So very very early development process. If you're interested in reading more, let me know. But I think this is very good. After we're seeing things like the Naked Gun and older franchises come to the forefront, I think it's good to kind of get maybe a movie going. I was surprised that they made it a movie and not a series for Netflix. I think it could possibly do pretty well as a series, but it makes sense to make it a comedy. And hopefully we get some returning characters, William Shatner, some other characters to return who are still with us to make cameos for the movie. Maybe be in positions of power in the cop in the police force, whatever. But yeah, I think it's very interesting, and I think this will be pretty exciting to see a T.J. Hooker remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it, into a movie. But what do you guys think? Are you excited to see a new T.J. Hooker from Netflix? Moving on to our main topic of the day for our movie news, and our main topic is it looks like Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ sequel will be released in two parts. So the Passion of the Christ sequel is going to be called The Resurrection of Christ, and it's going to be split into two movies. They don't state if it's going to be The Resurrection of Christ Part 1 or Part 2, but I'm assuming that's what it's going to be. And we have official release dates for this movie. It looks like the first part's going to be coming out on March 26, 2027, which is going to be a Good Friday. If you are religious and Christian, you kind of know what that means. And the second part's going to be on May 6, 2020. Oh, sorry, I said 2026. March 6, 2027 on Good Friday. And then May 6, 2027 on Ascension Day, Thursday. So if you guys didn't know what those religious days are, those are what those religious days are, and that's when we're going to be getting the Resurrection of Christ, which is interesting to have a two-parter release within the same year cycle. I think I haven't really seen a movie do that since The Matrix, if I'm not mistaken. Where I think Matrix came out in the early part of the year, and 6 months later, Matrix Resurrections or Reloaded. Wait, no, Matrix Reloaded came out, and then Matrix Resurrection. Jesus, I forget my Matrix movies. Hold on, now that's bothering me. I hate it when I do that to myself. Uh, let's see. Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions, Resurrections is the most recent one. Forgive me. Anyway, so yeah, they both came out in 2003 in the same calendar year. So I haven't seen a movie do that since then. So I'm interested in how this will do. Mind you, The Passion of the Christ before Deadpool, was it Deadpool 1 or Deadpool? I think it's Deadpool 3 actually. Passion of the Christ was the highest R-rated film of all time. So was that domestically or worldwide? I'll look that up later. Anyways, it was one of the highest grossing films of all time, whether that was domestically or worldwide. So I'm very interested to see how this movie is going to do. Mel Gibson's very passionate, and The Passion of the Christ is a very great film, and a lot of religious people love it. A lot of religious people watch it yearly. I know a couple of my family members very much enjoy that movie, so I'm sure they'll be in line to check this out. So I have to give The Passion of the Christ a rewatch. I don't think I've watched it since 2003, so as an adult, I haven't seen it. So I'd be very interested in rewatching it and giving it another chance. But that being said, I'm sure they're going to be doing a re-release of The Passion of the Christ before these come out, so I'll probably watch that and then in theaters and then watch these as they release. But what do you guys think of this? Are you excited that it's going to be split into two movies? Are you wondering why it's going to be split into two movies? And also, will you be interested in watching the same movie parts come out in the same year? Kind of interested in how that works out. Now, an example of that would be Marvel movies, but they're not necessarily sequels. They're just connected. These are literally back to back sequels. What do you guys think of that? Do you think more movies should do that with sequels if they split them into two parts, or do you prefer releasing throughout the calendar years? I want to know what you guys think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. All right, moving on to our last movie news topic of the day, and I kind of already gave it away by clicking on the wrong thing. But anyways, it looks like Matt Smith lands the villain role for Star Wars Starfighters, which is starring Ryan Gosling, which is really great. I think it's great to bring on talent for a film. Why is this thing keep popping up? Anyways, I think it's always great to bring on good talent, and Matt Smith is a great talent. He's done great jobs and great performances. I'm interested in seeing him this new movie with damn it, with the Butler kid. It's coming off all rails right now. I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, where was I? What's the movie called? Caught Stealing with Andrew Butler. He looks very interesting in this movie. Hold on, let me drag it over here for you guys. This is the movie I'm talking about here. Caught Stealing. That movie looks very interesting. He looks to be doing great in that role. So yeah, I'm interested. He did good in Morbius and stuff like that. He's a great actor, so I'm very interested in what this role will be for him and what kind of villain is he gonna play. As far as like in the Star Wars universe, you know, is he gonna be an alien, or is he gonna be, by alien I mean another creature, or is he gonna be himself as another starfighter, or maybe from the Rebellion or the Republic? Very interested in what they might end up doing with this character. But yeah, Matt Smith joins the Star Wars universe. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. And before this goes off it falls off the rails anymore, let me go ahead and say that's a wrap for today's episode of the Truly Odd Podcast, guys. Thank you so much for joining. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. And always remember, guys, stay true, be odd.